Hello everyone and welcome back to another Rise of Kingdoms video. I am RoyalMixGaming and today we're going to go ahead and talk about the Crystal Tech Karuak bosses. So where you find that is on this middle button here with the drum for Strife of the Eight, and then War and Conquest you're going to find the Trial of the Karuak, and the easy mode has just been released in my Strife of the 8 KVK, and you can basically start it with just like any other Karuak that you would normally do. It's going to cost you 100 AP to do each boss. It's going to summon it just like any other boss. And you're basically going to have to check and see what kind of skills each one of these bosses is going to do. Because I believe at every 5 or 10 levels, it's going to level up and show you a slightly more difficult boss. And also, I have seen from other videos and live streams that it will spawn sometimes at up to around 3 different targets that you have to hit. So you're going to have to go and click on each of these different bosses and see what their skills are. As you can see, this one's just deals a direct damage factor of 1000. It's no big deal, but there are other ones that do debuffs, such as, you know, attack or defense debuffs possibly, or damage debuffs, or they buff their allies, or they can even debuff you to do less damage or something like that. I don't know the exact debuffs, but you're going to want to make sure you're taking out the buffers and debuffers before you take out the main character for these bosses, because you want to make sure that they aren't helping their allies too much, or you may not defeat it. Because as you can see, it says 2 minutes to defeat this boss, and once you engage it, it's going to give you another timer, and I'm just going to go ahead and attack this one and see how it goes, just so you kind of see. But as you saw, it didn't cost me any AP to attack it, so I can do up to multiple marches if I wanted to see what I can do with it, and I don't waste any AP, so it doesn't even matter if you're going to be hitting with 5 marches, 2 marches, 1 march. But it does take, I think you have a maximum of 2 minutes, roughly, to defeat each of these bosses. And like I was saying, you're going to have up to 3 or so targets to hit sometimes. So once you summon these bosses, you can't be messing around. You're going to have to be doing your best to defeat them as fast as possible, because you don't have a lot of time to defeat them. So as you get into like the hard Nightmare and Hell difficulties, you're going to have to be using probably a 25% expansion maybe. That would be the cheapest option. And also, since you're in KVK, you're going to have some Crystal Tech, which is going to help you out. But like I was saying in my previous video about some of the new Crystal Tech, you want to be careful how much you're doing on this Karuak reports. Yes, it does give you more damage to these Karuak bosses, but I would caution you on that, because it's a lot like these other barbarian ones. It's going to keep costing you more and more crystal, and it's better that you just use more marches to defeat these bosses as fast as possible. Maybe use a 25% expansion, a rune, maybe a kingdom title, some things like that, other than trying to spend your crystal on the barb tech and the Karuak tech, because it's just going to be a little bit, I wouldn't say expensive, but you would get more crystal to put into either Call to Arms or some other crystal tech that could actually help you in war. So I would just caution you on not doing this too much unless you have to for prerequisites and things like that. So we'll go ahead and summon another one just to kind of show you again. It's in the middle here. You click here and you summon it for 100 AP each time. So the marches that I would use for trying to defeat these Karuak bosses is high skill damage marches like XY or a Nevsky. You can use a Trajan if you have him to try and buff your other marches, to try and get some more damage out of him, and also to debuff the target. I would recommend doing debuffs other than buffs, mostly because you're going to be hitting the target harder and the target's going to die faster. So I wouldn't recommend using like a Mulan or a Joan or Constantine or anything like that, because these guys are going to do damage to you, but they're not really meant to do a lot of damage really. They're more there to just try and sustain themselves so that they don't die fast enough. So I would recommend that you're using high skill damage marches as much as possible to take the target down as fast as you possibly can. And most of the time, Cavs are probably going to be your best option, like Nevsky. And I wouldn't say Saladin's the best, but he's still higher skill damage than other marches. But those would be the kind of marches I would try and use for these Karuak bosses, is high skill damage marches. So for the rewards for these Karuak bosses, it's going to be something like this, where you get like 9,000 crystal per boss, you get 8,000, and you also get some extra chests. But you're going to get up to, I think it's like, here is the actual rewards here actually. You're also going to get season coins, which is really nice. You get some crystal keys, slight bit of experience. I think every 10 levels you're going to get some season coins. It's a tiny amount, but you're going to get a lot of crystal. That's like over 1 million crystal right there at the very end. So you're going to get like a couple million crystal per time that you do this. So it's really important that you do these before each pass opening happens, because you're going to get a lot of crystal to help your tech. And that is why this easy level came out really early. It's the first day. Once your forts are done, it unlocks. You're going to want to make sure you complete that before your first pass 4, because if you don't, you're going to be behind on crystal tech no matter what you say. That crystal from the Karuak is going to help you a lot in your pass 4. So make sure you have it done. Make sure even if you have to use AP pots, just get it done. It's just free crystal technically. You just want to make sure that you're doing it, because it's very hard. It's not very hard to do, and it just takes some time. Unfortunately, this one's happening while there's an actual regular Karuak boss is going on, so you have to spend double the AP, which kind of sucks for me right now, but I'm using a lot of AP anyways on barbs, so it's not that big a deal. But that was this video. I just want to show you guys the new Karuak bosses. Let me know down in the comments if I missed anything, if you've already seen something like this before, and any questions you have about it, feel free to put them down in the comments. Leave a like, subscribe if you haven't already, and I'll see you guys on the next one.